but I think you're awesome. What's up? Do you support Trump?
Wait, my dad wants to debate you.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Hello?
Hey, what's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
I would be more of a supporter of Maga as opposed to Trump directly.
MAGA is Trump's movement. He's the leader of the MAGA movement. Um,
Yeah,
have,
there's a lot of things that he does that people don't agree with. So I can't say I'd 100% support him.
okay, but like knowing everything that you do now, if you were teleported back to November, would you still vote for him?
I didn't vote.
Okay, so you didn't vote for him, but you consider yourself MAGA, but you don't really support him. I'm confused.
I mean, I just think that the American government is supposed to take care of the American citizens, and I feel like it hasn't been doing that for decades now.
Okay, if the American government's supposed to take care of the citizens, how do you feel about the Trump administration, quote unquote MAGA, taking health care away from 10 million low income Americans through the big beautiful bill, and now advocating for an increase of the premiums for everybody else that is still on Medicaid of upwards of 75%? That's MAGA.
I mean, unfortunately, prices go up due to all the money printing that's happened over the last, what would that be, 6, 7, 8 years? How long has it been? They've been printing like
This
40% of the money in the last decade.
this wouldn't be prices of Medicaid premiums going up because of the M2 money supply. This would be the prices of Medicaid premiums going up because the Republicans want to defund particular Affordable Care Act subsidies that reduce those premiums.
I mean, that seems like a very niche, targeted question. I mean, the prices of everything's going up. I
It's
can't
it's
really
not
argue
niche or
about
targeted
Medicaid
at all when it
specifically.
will affect 50 million Americans.
Yeah, I mean, prices of everything's going up, which is affecting all
So do you
Americans.
want them to go up more?
I mean, unfortunately, that's happening,
Yeah,
whether
but
we
it's
want it to or not.
well, actually, no, it's not happening regardless if we want it to or not. It's happening because people put Trump in office and are emboldening the MAGA movement.
No, I think it's more to do with the money supply and
No,
not, manufacturing things here in America.
wrong. Absolutely wrong. The reason why the premiums are expected to increase by 75% is literally because the Republicans and Trump have and want to continue to to defund Affordable Care Act subsidies, right? That help cover the cost of a lot of those premiums. It's not because of the M2 money supply. It's because the
Yeah, I'm
Republicans
not.
want to
I,
defund Medicaid.
I'm not super interested in whatever argument you're trying to have over Medicaid. I mean, money is getting tight for all Americans because inflation has been really devastating to everybody. Health costs sure have gone up as well. I don't really know all the specifics about that, so I can't really argue about that.
Okay, then how do you think the Trump administration is taking care of American citizens?
Well, I know he's trying to get more manufacturing back in America, which I think is a good plan. It obviously will take time to do that, and those effects probably won't hit for a long time.
I think that
So
he's
I know
actually
there's a lot
reducing the
of
amount of manufacturing in America.
where do you see that?
Well, investment in American manufacturing has gone down.
I thought there were several billion plus dollar deals that have been signed by large companies.
Yeah, you were kind of lied to. So Donald Trump has lied about the evaluation of a lot of those deals. I mean, like even the White House is reporting different figures than he is. And then when you actually read into the deals, you see that there's some indiscrepancies there. That's like calculating like supposed like trade as a part of the investment. But I mean, still yet, regardless of that, even if these deals were to have been made, according to the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis, as well as the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis, for the last three financial quarters, investment into American business, as I already said, has literally gone down. That's a fact, man. And it was under a massive boom during the Biden-Harris administration. Moment Trump wins the election and navigates the American economy for the first three quarters of this year, it's going down.
Do you remember the Trans-Pacific Partnership?
Yeah, the TPP that Trump pulled us out of? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad he did that on day one of his first presidency. Are you glad about that?
No, because I support the globalization of commerce. The TPP actually reduced trade and tariff barriers between the 13 countries that were still in the TPP and led to a lot of economic prosperity inside of their countries. Really
And
left
we're
us
giving a lot
left us out.
more power to foreign corporations as well. So
Well, yeah, that one
I'm
definitely gave
going
more
all the way
power to
back
foreign
to
corporations
Bill
by
Clinton
specifically excluding
NAFTA.
us from a deal that then led to the prosperity of other countries and corporations in other countries. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't think that the American government should be aiming for foreign corporation prosperity over American citizens. Do you?
Okay, well, then you shouldn't have pulled us out of the TPP because that led to the prosperity of foreign corporations.
Pulling out of the TPP led to that?
Yeah, because it just led to more like American isolationism on the global stage, in which then in turn allowed these foreign corporations to have like a larger market in the exclusion of America in relationship between the 12 to 13 countries that were in on the deal. Not to mention like his deal with like China right now, that has resulted in China having lower tariffs on us and us having higher tariffs on them, just leads to the isolation of more Chinese products from the American market and the introduction of more American products in the Chinese market, which leads to less competition in America, more competition in China. And what is a consequence? What is the result of competition? Innovation, meaning that we're going to have less American innovation and more Chinese innovation. So do you see here actually like being in support of like the tariffs, for instance, just leads to the isolation of America on the global stage and the uplifting of corporations and other countries on the global stage?
I did not say I support tariffs.
Okay, well, if you don't support tariffs and you want to reduce them, then you would have supported the TPP and you wouldn't support Donald Trump's economic policy today. Boom.
I think you kind of had a roundabout conversation with yourself about the justification for pulling out of the TPP, causing foreign corporations to get more power. I go back to NAFTA and where we outsourced all of our jobs to foreign countries, and that led to more prosperity for them, our dependence on them, less wealth creation in America, and the TPP was basically going to do something
Did you
similar.
support the revision in NAFTA, the USMCA?
You caught me on something I'm not 100% aware of, so
It was basically the
walk me
renewal of
through
NAFTA.
that.
It was just the extension of NAFTA that Donald Trump brokered in his first term.
I imagine he did that as a. I mean, I don't know why he did that and the consequences of that, so that's something I can't really justify or negate,
I
unfortunately.
know, because now Donald Trump is doing things that you think led to the outsourcing of more jobs and the empowerment of foreign corporations over American ones.
I mean, all presidents do some good things and some bad things, unfortunately.
Okay, right. Right. I actually think that the USMCA was a good thing. I think that the globalization of trade is a good thing. I think that competitive advantage is a good thing. I think that forcing American companies to make things that they're not good at making is a bad thing. I think that forcing American companies to make things that they're not good at making by forcing the American consumer to pay more for goods produced by companies in other countries is also a bad thing because that's inflation, something that you told us like literally 10 minutes ago was something that you really hate as prices continue to rise. I think that making the American market less innovative by forcefully excluding foreign competition inside of the American market is also a bad thing that like makes us less competitive on the global stage because all of a sudden we have the worst products. I think that isolating workers from other countries by Donald Trump imposing a $100,000 bill on the H-1B visa is also a bad thing. And you should agree with me here since you don't want to empower foreign corporations. Well, now by excluding some of the best and brightest minds all around the world that want to come to America to study, that want to come to America to work, that want to come to America to start businesses, by charging them $100,000 to do so, will only empower foreign universities, will only empower foreign economies by leaving these brightest minds to work and reside within them.
I mean, I think we should be helping out Americans with, you're talking about people coming into our schools and stuff. That's what you were saying with the
It's coming into
coming
the
into our
schools,
university.
coming to the workforce, student
Yeah, so I
visas,
mean,
H-1B visas.
I'm not opposed to people coming over here and getting educated. I'm not opposed to people coming into our country to have a better life, but I think we need to have a little more protectionism uh, with respect to taking care of American citizens and American businesses, and having just kind of an eye more on Americans as opposed to. I know you're saying all these things helped the foreign companies more.
Right?
You probably know more about it than I do. I'm focused on other topics.
Well, you were the one that brought up the fact that you don't want to empower foreign corporations in the first place. You're the one that brought this topic up.
Okay.
I mean, am I wrong?
I don't know. I got a little lost in the conversation.
Well, I mean, where we're at is you're telling us that you're like against H-1B visas, like assumingly. I think that's what you're indicating. Tell me if I'm wrong, right?
I I didn't say anything about H-1B visas.
I know. That's why I said assumingly. It seems to be that's what you were indicating. Like, do you agree with the Trump administration charging $100,000 for an H-1B visa?
I don't really have an opinion on that either way.
Okay, well, you should have an opinion on that because if you don't want to empower foreign corporations, obviously preventing like more like workers coming into America on H-1B visas will empower foreign corporations by driving them to foreign corporations compared to domestic ones.
Yeah, that's an argument you can make. You could also argue that preventing foreign workers coming in allows opportunity for more Americans to get those jobs.
Well, the thing is job opportunity is created by economic growth. Economic growth is created by productivity inside of our corporations, and productivity inside of our corporations is created by high skilled laborers, by merited laborers. And when you're excluding merited high skilled laborers from the economy just because they're not American citizens, well, all of a sudden you reduce the productive capacities of American companies, which in turn reduces job availability, which in turn hurts the average American citizen. So, in fact, having a free market economy in the sense that we're allowing people to come into our country and work on H-1B visas and not pay $100,000 inevitably creates more productivity in our economy, which creates more economic prosperity. And with more economic prosperity comes a better standard of living for the average American and more job opportunity for the average American.
I got to tell you, you have an interesting argument. I'll have to think about it some.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to debate about?
Um, I mean, I guess we could talk a little bit about illegal immigration if you like.
Well, what about it? Do you support mass deportation? Because if so, that plays perfectly into your argument that you support American manufacturing because mass deportation kills American manufacturing by firing 8.3 million of their laborers and forcefully expelling 11 million of their consumers, which according to the American Immigration Council would reduce our GDP by 1.1 trillion through $1.7 trillion per year.
I'll just say that I think that when it comes to illegal immigration, I think a lot of people that have crossed over the southern border in the last however many years have kind of been abusing the asylum system, just claiming asylum when they're economic migrants. And what percentage it is, I wouldn't be able to tell you. And I don't think we should deport everyone that's coming illegally. I think people just need to get their papers in order, and there's got to be a process for that. Whether we want to keep them in the country or not, that's going to have to be on a case by case basis. But I do think that we've probably taken in more people than we can really take care of appropriately in the past 5 years. So,
okay. Well, the point number one, you're saying that there's a lot of people abusing the asylum process. Do you think that they're abusing the asylum process because they could just come into America, claim asylum, and then wait here for like a year while the claim processes, even if they know that it will eventually be denied?
I would assume that some people do that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe if you're true, the fix here. Maybe if you're true, that's not a sentence. Maybe if you're right, there we go. Maybe if you're right, the solution here is just to reduce the time that it takes to process an asylum claim. Did you know that's
I agree with that.
Did you know that's exactly what the Biden-Harris administration tried to do with the bipartisan border bill, which would have hired significantly more judges to process those asylum claims, making them go significantly faster? But then Donald Trump prevented that bill from passing by literally calling Republicans in Congress and telling them to vote against it for political reasons?
Well, I know that there was a big controversy about that bill, and I do think that speeding up that process would be a good thing. The judicial system does have a lot of what would that be? There's a long time. It takes way too long to go through the judicial system.
Right. Obviously,
that's a bigger problem than just immigration, unfortunately.
But it's going to take significantly less time to go through the judicial system to have your claim of asylum process if we have more courts to process the claims.
I don't disagree with that.
Okay, so if you support that and Donald Trump torpedoed that bill, Donald Trump is actively working against your goal here of apparently reducing the amount of individuals that are abusing the asylum processes by working against policy to make the asylum process faster.
I mean, that's one thing that was in that bill that would have been a good thing to happen. I'm sure there were other things that would have been in the opposite direction as well.
Like what?
I haven't read the bill. I think that bill's what, like 1,700 pages or 3,500 pages, or I don't think even all the people that voted on it read all of it.
Well, I mean, then you're just assuming that it would have been harmful when you don't have any evidence to demonstrate that it would have been harmful. I think that that's going to be like a terrible characterization of the way that we're supposed to think politically speaking.
Well, I don't think our government always has our best interest at heart as citizens. I think that's kind of the point I'm going back to.
Well, the next step would be for you to prove it, but I already asked you if you could, and you said you can't.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I don't have. I just life has gotten harder for Americans in the last 2 decades, I'd say.
Well, and it's going to continue to get harder if American voters think the way you do, not putting research into things that you believe in. Why? Right. That's why I think the live streams that I do here are incredibly important, and they're just supposed to inspire critical thought. So eventually, that trend could turn around.
I think you're misjudging me. I have a full-time job. I have a family I got to take care of. I don't have 24 hours a day. My job isn't live streaming and researching political topics. So, you've definitely put a lot more time and thought into this and research than I have. But, I think it would be a disservice to kind of just, assume I'm unintelligent because I haven't done as much research as you.
I'm actually not assuming that you're unintelligent. You're significantly more intelligent than the average guest I have in the live. I could tell you that. But like I am definitely telling you that there's a lot of issues with your thought process, especially on the last conversation that we had relating to the topic of amnesty and immigration policy that are like very obviously like anti-intellectualist. Like you just straight up told us that although this bill that the Biden-Harris administration tried to pass that would have reduced the amount of time for an immigration claim to process would have been good in theory, you're just going to ignore the fact that Donald Trump prevented that bill from passing by basically assuming that there's also really bad things in that bill that gave Trump justification to do so. That's
I'm not
anti-intellectualist.
I'm not basically assuming that. I remember hearing some conversation back at the time that there were some things that I disagreed with in that bill. I don't remember what they were because there's so many things happening every day. It's hard to keep a photographic memory of every occurrence that's happened in the last 10 years, which is how long Donald Trump's been in the political, scene. Every single day there's like a new controversy coming up, and obviously that's something that speaks poorly about him. Things aren't as smooth as when Obama or Clinton or even Bush was less controversial than Trump is.
Yeah, which is just one of the reasons why you shouldn't support Trump. I think at the end of the day, right, it's important for you and everybody else to do a little bit of research and make an informed vote, and don't just vote for a raging, controversial, as you just pointed out, idiot. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, I'm more of a supporter of Maga than I am of Trump. Like I said, there's some things that Trump does good, there's something that Trump does bad, and I'll tell you, there's one thing he's really good at. He's really good at talking a lot of shit, and that gets him in a lot of trouble. So.
Trump is the leader of MAGA. Like the electoral power that MAGA has is controlled by Trump.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of people that are kind of, you might say, in a cult. I think there's cultists on both sides. There's MAGA cultists. There's blue cultists. I think that's a problem with our country right now is we're all so deeply divided and cynical of each other. We don't take the time to listen to each other and kind of like try to find common ground. We keep trying to get gotchas to score political points instead of coming to a positive conclusion.
I'm not saying that everybody on the left is perfectly rational, but I completely disagree with the both sides issue when you attempt to describe to me and everybody else that there's just as many like cultists and people that are just so
I didn't say there's just as many. I said there's definitely cultists on both sides is what I said.
Well, do you have any other reasons why you support the Trump administration, or should I move on to the next guest?
I appreciate you, having the conversation with me. I thank you for not talking over me, a lot. I don't really have anything else to say, but thank you for your time.
Yep, you have a good one. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next guest. Okay, all right. Let's go and get that next guest loaded up into the box. Here we go, folks. Go ahead and hop in that queue of your MAGA. What the fuck does this guy want? Why are you back? What do you want?
You can't escape me, Dean.
I very specifically...
Escape your past.
Whoa, escape my past. What?
You can't escape what you did to me. You tried to silence me!
What's your fucking problem, bro?
You silenced the MAGA king. You can't do that anymore. Okay?
Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good now. I'm good.
Okay. All right. Just take a breather.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
I take a breather.
Take one in.
I take it.
Take a breath. Okay. And now delete the AI photo of me with makeup on your page.
Why would I do that? It's public. It's you in public.
Why? The better question is
why do you care about that?
The better question is why wouldn't you delete it?
Why wouldn't I delete it? Because it looks lit, dude. I mean, I'm keeping that in my photos gallery forever, man. Okay, so
Moving on to the next guest. Here we go, guys. Hop in that queue, if and only if you're a Trump supporter.